Hi, it's Snorgle. Welcome back to PowerWash Simulator. I know what you're saying. You're saying, Snorgle, you big dope. You haven't played this on their channel before, and I have. Just not as a Let's Play. I played it on a live stream with a couple of other games, and I enjoyed it immensely. So I want to do it a little bit more. Let's do clean the bungalow. Hey, Doc. You know how I mentioned my folks? Well, I think it's time their bungalow met your pressure washer. It's so filthy, it's hard to tell where the ground ends and the house begins. Yeah. When I mentioned you to Ma, her eyes lit up. Pop moaned and said, the browner the porch, the warmer the torch, which clearly means nothing, so he's overruled. The browner the porch, the warmer the torch. If you can give the good place a clean up, I'm sure it'll give them both a lift. Thanks again. Cal, let's do it. I remember, kind of. Continue. Okay. Where do we start? Let's start here. Yeah, I remember like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Calvin's such a good boy. He's a volcanologist, you know. Neat. Studying volcanoes? Okay. I like the fact you can check how much, yeah, you can check and see, hit tab and check to see where you've missed it. Oops, sorry. No jumping for me. Okay, so we need to get this part here. Look at that. Oh, a couple of small places here and there, but nothing major. All right. Let's get this, because this side here needs it very badly. Well, the whole place actually needs it pretty severely, but where are we missing? We're missing something. That thing should light up. Where are we missing? Oh, it's not close. Hold on. There. This will do it. I have never actually used a power washer in real life. When I played the live thing, there were some people some viewers who had some watchers who had used it and said the amount of pushback you get from it is pretty intense. Any others are missing here? A little bit here and there, but all right, we'll keep going. Typically, I thought these things usually light up when they're done, but whatever. That's fine. Let's go. Oh, yeah. So, one of the things, it reminds me a little bit of, I played a game, this was years ago on my channel, called Rumu. And you were a robotic vacuum, an AI robotic vacuum, that sort of gained sentience and had to solve this mystery of how the people of the household died. It was very interesting. It was a very interesting game. And one of the most satisfying things when you're not solving mysteries and being as a vacuum cleaner was one of the really cool things was you sort of went through and picked up this mess that was down, and it made clear later why there was a mess down, because it always seemed a little bit weird. There's nobody living in the house, Yeah, I kind of like this one. I like the green one. It's a good combination of a nice spray and it's a really nice combination. What are we doing here? Yeah, okay, that's fine. We got this. But it was just so deeply satisfying because it was a little bit like Photoshop's eraser tool, You just sort of wipe through it and clean up this mess. And this reminds me of it a lot. Like just the process of just clean this away. I had some power washers come, some people who did power washing come and clean my fence and some like concrete in my backyard. They were very nice. Didn't charge much. Very thorough. Took a lot longer than I thought it would. Not gonna lie. They were very nice. They were going to do the fence, and I said, "Hey, how much would you charge me to just clean my concrete? Because it's got like some really hard to get off what's it called? Like maybe not fungus, but like lichen and stuff, that kind of thing. really hard to get off. I've tried like some commercial things and stuff like that aren't supposed to kill your plants, but they'll take off and do good. And they're like, yeah, sure. And I asked them how much, and they said, nothing. We'll do it for the same price as the fence. No big deal. And they did. And it looks great now. Yeah, look, and it looks really nice now. They were super nice about the whole thing. This is so satisfying. We saw a kitty last time, and I'm really kind of hoping we see it again. It was like a really nice kind of chalky ginger cat. And I hope we see that cat again. Okay. Be a little more thorough on this one. There we go. Missing a couple of spots here and there. Let's see. Oh, man, there's a lot. Jeez. Oh, no. I'd make it terrible. I'd make a terrible professional power washer? Power washologist? We use one with a little bit tighter, sort of tighter range, but a nicer, yeah, get those corners. Like, yeah. Okay. What else are we missing here? This game would be deeply frustrating if they didn't have the little tool that shows you where you need to get stuff cleaned. You know. That's looking pretty good. It's not dinging though, and I'm not. Typically, when you finish, it goes ding and finishes, and it's not doing that, and I don't understand why. A little bit over here. Maybe the walkway has to be done too. Maybe it does. Over here, I don't want to ruin their plants. Guys who power washed my fence, I asked them, does anything be harmful to my plants? They're like, nah, we just use water. Just water, nothing special. And I kind of looked into it. I looked a little bit into like maybe Harbor Freight sells some power washes, but as with anything in Harbor Freight, I saw this really great explanation of how Harbor Freight sells tools so cheaply and why some people are super satisfied with them and other people are very disappointed. And they basically said their quality control is garbage, and that some of the stuff is perfectly fine, but other stuff is just literally defective and doesn't work very well. And that's just the price you pay for. That's the price you pay for. Okay, but see that the stairs just dinged. But this walkway and stuff hasn't, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's the price you pay for getting something at such a discount. And their tools are not particularly good, but they are very reasonably priced even for what you get. It's just sometimes you get a real dog. You get a real one that's really bad. There we go. Okay, so the whole thing did it. Okay, that's cool. Neat. I like that. Okay, that part is it is really sort of deeply satisfying. Yep, nice. Can we get these? Yeah, I wouldn't mind. What's the thing that tells us? Is it escape? Yes, and that tells us how much we do. And when I first started playing this, I didn't realize that you could right click and it just stays on all the time, which is really what kind of makes it, And I think we have our little walk things. I don't know if this is going to be right, or yeah, it's going to be the whole thing, isn't it? Yeah. Let's see. Looking good. Looking pretty good. Not gonna lie. Okay. Oh, my gutters replaced recently as well. I know, fancy, huh? we had a. I would prefer to not because my gutters are perfectly fine, but we had a while ago we had a terrible. Is that an active volcano? Huh. We had a really nasty thunderstorm. Just horrible. Golf ball sized hail. Did a number on my roof. Let's see. How's that looking? Yeah, there's a couple things here and there. Maybe we need to... What? F, wait. Yeah, let's put it there. Okay. We need to clean the inside? I don't know. Okay, that seems... I'm not a gutter cleaner, okay? I'm just saying, you know? like power washing your house is not the same as cleaning your gutters of debris. Okay? Oops, hold on. Stop it. Okay. But you have to be thorough when you're a power washer. True. Very true. There we go. Okay. Well, should we just do the roof roller up here? Figure 8. Why don't we? Why not? We have to be careful because we could fall off. I don't think we're going to hurt ourselves falling off, but... The white one, I always find the white one's pretty ineffective. Unless there's like almost no dirt at all, it doesn't really do much. You know? It doesn't do a lot. So... I just recently started playing the card game Uno. I never played it before. And I played some games with my bestie. Super fun. It was fun. Simple rules. Very straightforward. I enjoyed it very much. We're planning on playing on a regular basis, which is cool. It's probably weird that I'm doing this facing down, but I can't think of another way to do it and sort of not step in it, you know? I like the fact that when you step in it, like step in the gunk, you track a little bit of dirt around from your boots, like leaving boot prints. That's a really nice touch. Very nice touch. Okay. There's the van we cleaned. Okay. PowerWash Simulator 2 is coming out in a couple of days as of the release of this video. It's coming out October 23rd. I played a little bit last week of the demo. It was just, they didn't screw around with it. It's just as satisfying as this. Like, it's deeply satisfying. 100% just as satisfying. I think you can do like soap and things like that too, and it works faster. I'm not sure. I'll have to play around with that because I actually don't know. A little bit down there. You did surprisingly well, actually. More thorough than I typically am. Okay. Yeah, this stuff. So this green stuff. It's not really moss and it's not fungus. I don't know what it is, but that's the stuff that was on my patio. I wonder. Okay, that does that. That changes it that way. What does E do? Extension now. Oh, cleaning liquid. So I haven't bought any cleaning liquid. So okay, so got it. That's our current loadout. Okay. So we can do that. We can upgrade, which I haven't done. But we'll take a look at that maybe this video after we finish this job and see what we can do. Okay. Yeah, this works okay. Let's see. Missed a little spot. It's done by a small British shop out of England. I don't remember where. Maybe London? I don't think so, though, actually. Maybe a smaller town, but love to see it. they just kind of they hit something that is gameplay that is just so satisfying. Just makes you feel good playing it, you know? Makes you feel good playing it. And I clean my house on a regular basis, but I don't think it's as satisfying as this. Maybe I can try gamifying it? I don't know. I have a robot vacuum cleaner that does a pretty good job. I purchased the dumbest smart robot vacuum cleaner I could. Because there was that huge scandal with Oofy vacuum cleaners that came out. Oh, this was a while ago, maybe a year or two ago. Where basically, even if you told the vacuum cleaner not to take pictures, it was taking pictures and uploading them to the cloud. And as you can imagine, people don't particularly think about what they're doing when a robot vacuum cleaner comes by. So there were some incriminating pictures. Yeah, we're actually doing pretty good. We'll get this side of this roof done in no time. And we'll just keep going. Just keep going. I was telling a friend of mine was thinking of starting a podcast. And he wanted to do a video podcast, on YouTube. And he was asking my opinion. And I was like, well, I could just have this tiny little channel. And I'm pleased with the quality of my work and I'm pleased with my output, but I'm certainly not a big channel to be giving anybody advice. But I told him, try to set it up. Think about how long it's going to take you to do stuff, right? Do some tests. See how long it's going to take you to record it, like how long it takes you to prepare for your podcast, how long it's going to take you to record it, how long it's going to take you to edit it, what's your cadence, how many times a week do you want to do it? And he was like, well, I was thinking I'd do it every day. And I was like, I wouldn't. I mean, as somebody who produces videos every day for over 4 years, unless you just love every single part of it and have given it an enormous amount of thought of how you're going to keep that cadence up, do it once a week. Start with once a week, and if you have more bandwidth, then do that. Because I encourage that. I think his podcast sounds like it would be really interesting and really cool. He's into like planets and stuff, and that's sort of what the podcast would be about. I think that's really cool. Kitty, look, kitty. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, but I encourage him. It's like, you should really try it. I highly recommend it. But also, like, he was like, oh, I'm going to buy this, super expensive mic. I was like, don't. You can start with, like my mic. The mic I use is a Shure SM58. It's just a warhorse. It's not expensive. You can get them. They're regularly go on sale for under $100. I know that $100 seems expensive. You can get mics. I started my podcast with a mic cheaper than that. Like I started my podcast with a was an Ars Technica, I think, maybe a $30 Ars Technica, and it was fine, but it didn't quite have the dynamic range I wanted. Didn't quite have that dynamic range. Okay. So I made some suggestions to him for a mic that he could pick up that wouldn't be very expensive but would meet the job. He's going to start it, and he thought he'd do some test ones first. And I'm a big proponent. I think there's a lot of power in learning something in public. And I've mentioned this before. It's an important thing for me. You need to learn in public. I think it's important because everybody's gonna be bad at first. And like I said, some people are sort of savants who have natural talent towards something, but everybody's not going to be very good at first. If you don't believe me, go look at like Jacksepticeye's first video or Markiplier's first videos. They're not the same level of polish that they are now. And I'm not saying they're bad because they weren't, but they're just not the same level of polish because doing this is a skill. And it's just an acquired skill, and you have to practice it and do it and have experience, and that's just what it boils down to, And so, but there's a lot of power to just going out there and doing it in public and saying, I know that I am not going to do very well at this, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I understand it. I understand that that's the risks, and I'm prepared for that. Okay, yeah, let's get this top part. So this is the whole roof. This is fine. We got this. Okay. Oh, wait. There's a little bit. Yeah, there's a little bit down there. Look at that. Huh. It gets a little. Sometimes it's so funny. They cross this really interesting line between not being very fiddly, but then on some stuff being very fiddly. I don't think it ever gets to the point where it's kind of a pain, but I just find it interesting. Okay, we missed anything else up here? I feel like I need some safety gear. You know, I feel like that would be prudent because the pitch of this roof is pretty drastic. But whatever, we got this. Anyway, I hope that he's going to start his podcast and he's going to talk about space stuff. And I think it's really cool. He has a passion for it, and he really stays up on the news. He's really smart about it, and he can explain stuff in a really good way to somebody like me who doesn't know anything about it. Like I really don't know anything about it. Something. It's not that I have been. I guess I'm not that interested in it. It's not that I'm not interested in it. I think it's interesting. It just doesn't. It doesn't catch my attention immediately. You know. Did we get it? Yeah, we're doing pretty good actually. Doing pretty good. I like the fact that there's little areas where the it's not uniform. Where the dirt's a little bit more, and you have to use a slightly different nozzle to get it. I really like that a lot. I like that an enormous amount. There we go. Okay. Good. Good. This is definitely a more complicated job. I'm here for it. There we go. Yep. Like that up there. We just couldn't, the green one just couldn't quite get it off. Needed sort of a narrower, more intense pressure. I don't think that there's in real life. I don't know. I'm not a PowerWasherologist. I don't know, but I don't think you can easily switch the nozzles. I could be wrong about that totally. Maybe you can on the fancier ones. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I hope they do podcasts. I think more people should do that. There's some people not freaking out, but kind of worried that AI is going to take content generation. I'm not too worried about that actually. I think there's something to worry about. I'm not a huge fan of generative AI. I think it's all gravy and no biscuits. A frosting on a cake, if you were. It has its place for some things, but not that those things are not replacing regular human artists. I don't think you get. I'm really disappointed that you see a lot of indie games using AI voice acting instead of either just having it text. A lot of indie games, they don't have voice acting; they have text, or having either text or using more reasonably priced. Not because they're not more reasonably priced, but not professional priced voice actors. That disappoints me because I don't like it as much. It's not good. I don't think it's going to be good. Markiplier had an interesting take on that on their podcast. On this Distractable podcast, who needs no Markiplier. Anything Markiplier does not need a shout out from me. I don't have to tell you that. But it was just interesting. His take was that this was back when some Yahoo started some stupid thing about Markiplier using AI. Nah, it was stupid and unfounded. And his take was he thinks that people who don't care about the creative output, right, the creative vision, this is tricky, aren't going to use AI to create things. because they care about it and it's part of their artistic expression. Wow, that took care of everything, huh? And I hadn't really thought of that before. I think he's right. And that there's other things. I had a conversation the other day with someone who was mentioning they hate all AI and they think all AI sucks. And I was like, well, that's, there's some really cool things that's happening with AI, and it's not generative AI. When people say things like that, I think that they think that all AI is, ChatGPT. That's not. I mean, for example, currently, one of the, if you know, oh wait, I missed something up here. Look at that. I want to make sure I get this while I'm paying attention. One of the most important scientific endeavors is currently happening. And you think previous to this, the largest global scientific endeavor was the Human Genome Project in like the 90s and 2000s. It's just a Herculean task of mapping the human genome so that we map out every single strand of DNA that could possibly be in any human ever. And that has huge implications, or it will. It's the problem with that is it's tricky, right? So there hasn't been a lot of pharmaceutical benefits, tangible benefits yet. There will be, but there hasn't been yet. But something that's probably going to have more tangible benefits is protein sequencing. So currently, they're mapping every single protein sequence. And if you don't know, and I didn't know, so I had to look it up, but I'm really fascinated by this. Protein sequencing is proteins is made up of a sequence of amino acids. And it's probably more complicated than that, but this is my understanding. And that they're trying to map every single protein. And the reason for this is this would have huge, major impacts on pharmaceuticals and like coming up with a really solid biodegradable single-use plastic, for example. Like things like that, like stuff that's really important. Pharmaceuticals, like medical care, it's the importance of this is it just cannot be overstated, in all seriousness. And they're mapping it, and they would not be able to do it at all without AI. Some of the most accurate and sophisticated AI models are currently being used by industry and by universities and academics and scientists to map proteins sequences. It's really cool. It's amazing, and the implications for humankind and for the Earth in general can't be overstated. It's amazing, and that's something that is universally and objectively fantastic, right? And that could not be done without AI. It's got nothing to do with ChatGPT. You can't talk to it. It's just this machine that folds amino acids into different proteins. And I couldn't even begin to tell you how many. Oh, look at that, in just the right angle. Just the right angle. I couldn't even begin to tell you, like, how many proteins are there? Trillions? Quadrillions? I don't know. Like, no idea. I mean, I think they're thinking it's going to take a very long time. I haven't heard anybody sort of speculate how long, but I'm going to actually go back over here. Hopefully I can jump off this and not... Yeah, and then... Can I... F. Nope. F. Yeah, let's go over here. And put it... Come on. That's... Although I kind of want to... I kind of want it over here more. Oh yeah, put it over here. Perfect. Okay. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Okay. But so something like mapping protein sequences, that's incredible. It's an amazing thing, and we wouldn't be able to do it without AI. So not everything. Some of those predict what's his face? The founder of Google said, wait, I know what I can do. I think I also hit control. Right? And it lays me down. Okay, that's it. Said that the most exciting advances in AI are also the most boring. It's not ChatGPT. It's not any large language model. That's not the most exciting things that are happening. It's things like predictive analytics. When an AI model can look at an analytic and predict what's going to look at an analytic of something and then predict what's going to happen in an extremely accurate way. That's really cool. Yeah. I'd forgotten that I can lie down. How are we doing? A little bit more down here. More? Let's see. Yeah, we still need to do this side, of course. So anyway, I think that's really cool and an excellent use of AI. And again, you know, I can't tell you how many people I know use ChatGPT as to find a source of truth. That is not what you should be doing. ChatGPT, even the latest one, is wrong 30 to 70% of the time. Think about that. The thing that's scarier about that is it's not just that it's large numbers, like it's wrong 30 to 70%. It's the variance is so huge. That's the thing that should really stand out, but people don't care. But there are things that it's really good at. Like one of the things that AI is incredibly good at, and even a large language model like ChatGPT, or, you know, Copilot, which I guess is GPT, and there's Claude, you know, some of the ones, even those are exceptionally good at just combing through large data sets and finding correlations. Like a friend of mine, he bought a house, and of course it wasn't a used house, it was used when he bought it, and he needed to get like a valve or something for his stove, right? And the stove didn't have a model number on it or anything because it's old, you know? And so he went to Google, and of course, if you ever try to do anything like that with Google, the only thing Google tries to do is just sell you a stove. Like, it's disgusting. I generally try to not use Google very much because it's kind of gross that way. But he didn't find it, so he was just, and out of sheer desperation, tried ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was like, sure, it's this one. And it was, like 100%. That's the type of thing that AI does extraordinarily well, though. But, you know, fact checking is not one of them. So maybe find a search engine that you trust. Could be Google, could be Bing, DuckDuckGo, Ask Jeeves. I don't even know if Ask Jeeves is still around. Okay, let's see here. Move it up there. Down here. I think the whole roof is going to go when it goes, right? Oh, hold on. Yeah. Let's clean the gutter. Clean the gutter. That's our job. We're gutter cleaners, apparently. Okay. We got this. We still need to get some of this, but we're doing well. We're doing exceptionally well. We're doing better than I thought we were doing at this point in time. So, yes, find that search engine you like and fact check that way, because at least you can get different sources and do different whatever, and, you know, please don't use a large language model to fact check. That's not what they're for. My job thought that we should be using ChatGPT to send clients emails, you know, and correspondence. And boy, I mean, you can do that in some ways, but just blindly doing that is a terrible idea. Yeah. A little bit up there we missed. I'm doing better than I would have thought. Okay, come on. I'm doing better from a thoroughness than I would have thought, because this doesn't fit in my personality. I'm not a super neat, organized person. Maki's messaged me. You're really excited how it's looking. Sounds like it's going great. It's looking much better. I mean, we're not there yet, but it is looking much, much better. Yeah, I think these videos are going to be a little bit on the longer side, but that's okay. I don't mind. I'm enjoying doing this, and I'm enjoying... Let's see. Yeah, I just have to spend a little more time on these. They require a little bit more action here. We'll get it. We'll get it all. Don't worry. I was my bestie asked me one time recently, what's the last nonfiction book I read? And couldn't tell her. I honestly have no idea. It probably was whatever the last what the last fiction book I read, because I normally do cookbooks and nonfiction, it's true. The last fiction book I couldn't think, I'm thinking about it, it probably was, the only author I really read on any kind of regular basis is Haruo Murakami, the Japanese contemporary author. I love his work. He kind of got me interested in contemporary Japanese, like surreal Japanese fiction. I think it's really cool. Okay, let's see. I think we can, let's go ahead and move the ladder to the back. Float down. Pick up. Let's take it around back. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. What is going on with their house? Good splurg. Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to, hold on. Yeah, we're gonna have to get all this, aren't we? We definitely are. Okay, well, we'll just do what we can do here. I wonder how to do the hit detection of the water, you know? Curious about that. It seems very accurate. Very interesting. I'd love to see the code for this. Not to the point of like Minecraft trees, which I'm still incredibly obsessed with. Like the procedural tree generation in Minecraft, I think, is incredibly cool. One of the coolest things I've ever seen in a game. I'm not being hyperbolic. I mean very serious. It's really amazing. I'd love to look at the code someday and see it. Okay, so I think we got at least the roof on this side. Let's, sure, why not? Let's go ahead and just clean this off. Clean the gutters off. Since we're down here, why not? Why the splurp not? Probably should do the ones in the front too. I don't think I've done those. There we go. There. We get it? Doesn't look like it. Oh, no, hold on. Oh, the inside's just a sludge pot. Okay, let's go. Maybe we need to stand on the fence. There we go. Okay, good. Let's go up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Then we can really clean. We can really clean this here. Really get in there. Be accurate. Okay. So yeah. I think that a lot of people are surprised. I don't talk about cooking that much, but cooking is a passion of mine. I enjoy cooking very much. My mom was a terrible cook, just an awful cook. I mean, she was just a horrible cook. She felt like no meat, every single meat was undercooked, even if you just cooked it within an inch of its life. And so I never even had pork that was done properly until I went to college. I always thought I didn't like it because I always thought it was hard and tough, and then I had some pork that was cooked properly, and I was like, oh. Same with broccoli. I might have told this story before. Well, let me get down here because I think we need to get underneath here a little bit. Yeah. And I used to think that I hated broccoli. And when I was a freshman in university, a friend of mine who was a graduate student invited me to his house, and he was a really good Chinese cook, and he would have friends over and he cooked Chinese food and everybody would eat. And I didn't want to seem like I was uncool, you know. I'm the uncool kid who doesn't like broccoli, so he doesn't like broccoli. I was like, oh yeah, it's great. And he served it to me, and the first thing that blew me away was his green. It wasn't gray. It was green and marvelous and tasted good, and that's when I realized, oh, I need to look into this cooking stuff because I feel like I missed out on something, and I had. And I still love cooking to this day. Like it's, if my mom was a better cook, I'm not sure that I would have been interested in it. Because it was just so fascinating to me what I didn't know about it. And then, you know, you want to get good at it. So you can practice your knife skills. Like I used to wait until I was a poor student, you know, so I used to have to wait until the whole chickens would go on sale, you know, and then I'd buy like, and you wait for them they go on sale like deep discounts because they're probably about to expire or something, you know. And so you get them, like you save up $20, you get like, you know, 10 chickens or whatever it was. I don't remember, 8 chickens or whatever. You get, they were super cheap because they were going to go bad that day, right? And so then you go and just practice butchering them. And I can still, I don't do it that often as much anymore, but I can still butcher a whole chicken down to its component parts in 2 or 3 minutes. Easy. Just super easy. Just because you practice it. Same with like cutting. I can mince, I can dice, I can, when I cut, I can julienne, I cut stuff up, I cut it up with relative accuracy. When I cut stuff into a dice or a mince, all the pieces are pretty much exactly the same. Because it's just something you have to practice. And it's funny though, you know, when I've mentioned before, I'm a formally trained musician. I used to be professional. Not for very long, but I was proud of that. And sometimes when you're a professional, you don't make a lot of money as a professional musician, shockingly. And so there were times when I had to choose between, you know, I've got $7 to eat for the rest of the week because you have bills and rent and utilities and, you know, gas to get you to your gigs that week, and like you gotta make ends meet, and I think the roof is probably one of the harder ones in this job. I think that's true. Satisfying. It's deeply satisfying. But it's probably the biggest culprit in this whole thing. So we get this done, we're gonna have a huge part of this done. Okay. Let's actually go down here. Come on now. Okay. Nope. It's F, not E. Okay. Okay. Sure. Let's go ahead and just get these over here. I wonder if we see anybody on the inside looking out. Look at those windows. That's ridiculous. I probably should upgrade some stuff, but I don't know how. I should check into that. Honestly, though, I'm kind of having fun just doing this. Okay. There we go. You do anything on this? Pretty much on the outside? Yes. The inside. You know, we're power washers. That means we've got to clean this as well. There. Nice. See, I really like that. It's I like the fact that it absolutely is not 100%, but it's really close. There was a couple of things on the live stream that got a little bit fiddly because they were like these rock structures, like how sometimes like older houses from the 90s or whatever, have like these so right, what I'm going to prove it is like a fire pit that's made out of like rocks that are like sort of splorped together, and you know, a bunch of smallish rocks, like definitely smallish rocks, and we're doing pretty good. Oh. I think we still have another side to do on the roof, though, to be sure. Okay. What is there? See, sometimes in this stuff, there's little tiny fiddly stuff that adds up. Where are we? Let's see. Bungalow roof. We are 95%. Okay. So we have 5%, which is not insignificant. Let's see. Where would that be? Where would that 5% be? A little bit there. That's no lie. Anything over here? A little bit there. Hold on. Yeah, a little bit there. See, these kind of things, like I said, right here, that you got to kind of do. We may need to go. I don't think we've looked at this side at all. Let's do that. Yeah, this is just a disgusting mess. So when I was a musician and I didn't have enough to eat for a week, I'd go to the store with like, you know, $5 to $7, and I'd buy a couple of pounds of rice and like cheap vegetables, like an onion, carrots, maybe I'd have some garlic and some ginger, something like that. And I get like a big 2-pound bag of black beans, maybe pinto beans if I was feeling southwestern. And I just make a big old thing of beans and rice, and I'd eat on that for the whole week. I'd have that 3 times a day for the whole week. And you know, it's not exciting, it's not glamorous, but it keeps you fed. Sometimes, if I was lucky, there might be like some cheap bacon, like some Oscar Mayer bacon or something like that on sale. And so I kind of have a little protein with that too, besides the beans. That was me figuring that out, making this giant batch. I went to the thrift store and just bought this huge peanut pot, you know, to cook it in. It cost me like a couple of bucks. I did that more times than I could count. I couldn't even tell you how many times I had to do that. But I'm pretty proud of that, because you know, it's find a way to make it work. Okay. I don't know, is this part of it? I don't know if this is part of it either. Maybe it is. It probably is. Probably is. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it probably is. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. Come on. Come on now. Trying to... all the stuff on the roof is off. Have we done this on the other side? I'm not sure we have. Frankly. Okay. Oh, great. Was that it? Was that everything? Did we get the roof? Bungalow roof clean. Sweet. That's excellent. That's amazing. We did it. That was the hardest part by far. Let's do this. We know we're gonna have to bring the ladder over here. We will. Let's get this done first, though, because then I think this will mean we have all the gutters done. Yeah, we did that. Cool. I don't think I did those gutters, but I don't remember. We'll find out here pretty soon. I'm not sure I did this. So we'll have to go get the ladder. Let's see. Can we run? Oh, we can. I didn't know that. Handy. We cannot run with the ladder. That's too bad. That's disappointing. Okay, let's go up here. There. That is deeply satisfying. Let's get this out of the way. Set it down. Can we set it down here? Do we have to? Can we just set it down? Can we just? No. Oh, for Pete's sake. Fine. Okay. Let's just get going on this stuff. Heck yeah. Hopefully the walls go. Hopefully the walls go a little bit easier. Hopefully, it looks like they are. Can we use a wider stream? We can. Nope, it's not working. Okay, this is maybe where something like soap might work. I'm not sure. I don't know how to do that yet, and I don't feel like taking the time out to figure it out. So we'll do that next time I play this. Oh, so funny. This type of garage door. So where I live now, and I think probably most garage doors now, at least in North America here, are like the roll-up kind. You know, so like you lift them up and they kind of roll up to the top of your garage. This is the kind of garage door that I had growing up as a kid. It's on a big hinge, and you look up and it goes wink, instead of like rolling up onto the top of your garage door, your garage ceiling. Nice. This is looking really nice. Really happy with this. A good job. I think the people will be happy. Sounds like their son, their daughter. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember what the name was on this that contracted us for this job. But they're a very good child. There we go. They're a good child. Looking after their parents. Okay. Yeah, see, things like that. Like there's a little bit left. I don't know what the percentage left is. There's a little bit left, and they're like, that's good enough. You got it. Basically. I think the windows. I think these windows are separate. I think the windows are separate from the walls, if I recall. From my live stream. What is that? Is that like a curtain or something? It looks like they have like it boarded up or something. Weird. Calvin Miller. Okay, apparently even Pops is out of his rocking chair now having a look. Nice. Oh, I guess, okay. It's supposed to be like the window. Okay, it's supposed to be the reflection of the window. But I don't recall who that name was. Maybe it was Steven, but okay, so it's obvious their son. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, the small things, the smaller things like the roof. I was kind of hoping that the roof would be like this side of the roof is done, that side of the roof is done, because you get these little gamification rewards, you know, every time you finish something, ding, like, you know, little dopamine goes, oh, that's nice. Ding. Oh god, not even close. Okay. We go. Up we go. Down. Trying to be relatively thorough. Okay. Get the door. I like it when they do the frames different from like the windows of the doors. I don't know why, I just do. This yellow one is kind of clutch. I wonder though if I use soap, if I'd be able to do a wider swath and then rinse it off. Nice. Keep going. Thought I got that. Did I not get that? Thought I got. There we go. Okay. Oh, yeah. Maybe they do the things separately. I'm not sure. I don't know. You think it's gonna be this whole wall? Probably because it's connected. This is stucco too. Huh. I mean, this house kind of reminds me a little bit of. Not totally. The styling is a little bit different, but it reminds me. There's parts of it that remind me a little bit of the house that I grew up in. Our garage was not attached, though. It was completely separate. It was separate. I'm trying to think if that was unusual. Our house was a little bit unusual by the neighbor's house. It's not extremely. It just had like a slightly different roof. Like the roof we had was flat. I kind of talked about this before. The roof we had completely flat, and like every few years, the roofers would come out and they'd peel off the roof and then they'd pour tar on it. I mean, not like tar paper, I mean tar. Like the big bubbling vats of tar, and they'd pour that on it and then sprinkle it with pebbles. That's odd, right? Look at that. That looks fantastic. That looks really good. Yeah, this video is going to go a little bit longer, but that's okay. I'm having a good time. Hopefully you are too. Let's come up here and do some of the. Let's come up here and do some of the stuff that's up here that's pretty high. Then we can move the ladder somewhere else. I'm trying to be methodical about this. Yeah, we'll get that over there in a second. Let's see. What do I? I guess that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, the outside of the house does remind me a little bit. If it had a flat roof, I always thought that's weird though. I've never heard of anybody else's roof being that way. That's funny, right? Maybe it's common. I don't know. Can I use a slightly wider beam? Can I use the green one? Yes. Good. This will make us get a little bit more done. Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Doing great. Well, now they came up with this idea. I feel like, I don't know why. Let me move this because it's going to get in the way. We're going to stick it over here for now. And we'll see what we want later. Okay. Feels like they did this for a game jam, maybe? And then decided to go with it because it was such a great idea. Because I have another game I played like this that I don't know what it's called, but it was not as deeply satisfying as this. A little bit different though. It was a slightly different type of game. It added some different elements to it. But the thing I liked about that game was, I wish I could remember it. I did it once on a live stream. It was PowerWash something, I don't remember. Or I don't remember. Anyway, it was kind of this interesting thing where you go around to these different facilities, and there was somehow they ended up like super trash. There was garbage everywhere, and you needed to pick up the garbage. You had this PowerWash. It was a combination sort of vacuum cleaner and PowerWash, and you would have to replace the water every once in a while. So you need to find a source of water nearby, and the couple of levels I played, the source of water was like a pond or something like that. It wasn't like you had to find a hose, you know. It was a good game. I like that. I played some Steam Next Fest games that we're gonna have to get up there. So let's doing the bottom part first, and then we'll bring the. Actually, let's just do that now. That's the one that's kind of a pain. So let's do that now. Okay. Missed a couple things. Okay, there we go. That's better. There we go. Nice. We'll go up here and see if we can get the top of the window. I don't know if we need to or not. Let's find out. We'll do an overall swash of the window and then we'll finish it up. So it sounds like the people who live here are older, retired, since the dad was in a rocker. I could be wrong about that. Maybe the dad just enjoys rocking chairs. Something like that. People do. I've never been particularly keen on rocking chairs. I don't have anything against them either, but it's not a big thing of mine. Yeah, we'll just hit this with the strong stuff. We can get this whole side of this house. Like I said, it's been a little longer video, but that's okay. Hope you're enjoying this little conversation we're having as we power wash this house. There. Nice. Stacking up the wins like poker chips. I assume. I don't really gamble. Not my thing. I have an uncle who lived near Las Vegas, and we'd go visit him sometimes as a kid. I remember walking by and seeing the slot machines. And, as a kid, you're not allowed in the casino, but you walk by and you can see them. They're right there. And seeing people playing them, and they weren't having fun. They weren't smiling. They were just playing it, and that struck with me as a kid. I was like, I don't want that. And the vibe was the same every single time. And there's all these, fantastical buildings and, all this glitz and glamour and crazy stuff. And it just, even as a kid, struck me as, this is not for me. I have friends who like to go gambling, and I think that's great. I have another friend who is actually quite a good poker player. And when he goes to Vegas to play poker, he always wins. But he says, he has to take a lot of money with him because you will not win 100% of the time. And you need to be able to play that. You need to be able to lose up to the point that you can win, which I think is an interesting take. I think that's an interesting take. And it works for him. I imagine if you're a good enough player, that's probably true. I'm going to clean a little bit of this just because the steps are going to take a little more time, but I don't want to track a bunch of. The fact there's so many windows here is just so satisfying. Deeply satisfying. I was thinking about this the other day. I was hanging out having tacos with a friend of mine, and they were asking me. I used to be a nomad. I had no fixed address, and I just would travel around the country because I've been working remotely for a very long time. I think I work remotely more than I've been actually not, frankly. And there's a couple of styles. I would say that the house I stayed in Asheville, a little town outside of Asheville, North Carolina, was one of those beautiful lots, and the area of it was amazing. Asheville is such a beautiful city. It's really incredible. It's just remarkable. And the people were really cool, really cool. They were really nice and friendly, and it was a great vibe. It was a really interesting. The housing market is completely messed up there because there's not a lot of regulations, and there's a ton of rentals. I mean, I guess I took advantage of it and contributed to the problem, frankly. But it's a real problem because there's people have quite a bit of money, and then it's also retired people and some other things, and it's just a real problem. It's a real problem there. I don't like to see that. It's too bad, It's too bad. Oh, this is not quite done either. Okay, let's see. Ding? No ding? Come on, no ding? Come on, really? How are we doing? Let's see. 17 clean on the bricks. Blah, 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 blah. Porch fences, porch posts, porch posts. Yep. Steps we haven't really started. Oh, we cleaned some steps apparently. Window frames 3 out of 5, 99. Windows 5 out of 7. Window frames 3 out of 5. What are we missing here? There we go. That's 4 out of 5. It's 5 out of 5. Is there a window we're missing? We missed a window frame? Hold on. 4 out of 5 and Windows 5 out of 7. Maybe this one isn't done yet? I think it's done. That one's done. That's 1, 2. This one is not done. Got it. There. I think this frame is done. So window frames 4 out of 5, Windows 6 out of 7. Okay, so we're just missing one. Just missing one. Where's that? Where's the window we're missing? Which one did we not do? Well, let's keep going. We'll figure it out at the end. That seems to be the case where. Oh, hold it. Yep. 7 out of 7. So window frames 4 out of 5. So there's one window frame we did not clean. Okay, so we'll have to figure that out. We'll figure it out. Good. I like they have that list. I think that's great. I don't know if they have hints, so if you can't find it, I had trouble with this the last time finding something. There was something I just could not find. But no, it took me a while too. It wasn't until I played the demo of PowerWash Simulator 2 that I realized that oh, that's interesting. Huh. I realized that they kind of, when you point at something, it tells you what you're pointing at. Yeah, see, bricks, wall, like it tells you what you're pointing at. Nice, I like that. You're getting lots of rewards here. Is it gonna go? No. Thought it would for sure. There. Yeah. So we're maybe halfway done with the house? No, as far as the walls go. We're a lot more than halfway done with the house in general. Overall, of course. Okay. So I think we have one window frame, that is not done. So we need to look around for that to be sure. Yeah, there we go. This is fine. Not that bad on the walls, and we can knock this out. And then I'm definitely going to look for how to use this detergent, because I think that's going to make a huge difference. But I'll have to look it up. I don't want to bug you or waste your time with this video. And then I'm actually kind of having fun just doing this, chatting with you. Yeah. Just cranking this out. Getting her done. Let's see. Let's do the bottom part first, and then we'll bring the ladder over and do the top part. I think that's the way to go. Okay. There we go. There we go. Make sure everything is clean. What are we doing here? Oh, that's the top. That's right. We're not messing with that yet. Messing with that yet. This does make me want to go buy a power washer. My bestie bought a home a little while ago, and there was a gate. It was chained shut with this huge chain. They didn't have the key, and they called the locksmith, and the locksmith wanted like $400 to do it for them. And she thought, this is an excellent opportunity for me to justify buying an angle grinder. And she did, and had just a lot of fun cutting that chain off. A lot to be said for that. She got all the personal protection, of course. She got eye protection and gloves so she wouldn't hurt herself. And just made short work of that chain and lock. Believe that? $400, and it probably would take him 10 minutes. The locksmith, that's ridiculous. And he originally quoted her at $99 and then got there and said it'd be $400. And she was like, heck no. I hate when that happens. Doesn't happen that often. I think most business owners are honest, but that's ridiculous there. Which frame? Yeah, we have one window frame that is just almost clean, but not quite. What is it? Yep, that was it. Did we get it? Oh yeah, look at that. The walls, 6 out of 7 clean. Okay, so we're going to need, let's see. Yeah, we're going to need the ladder. Let's go get it. But their fence, look at their fence. Their fence is immaculate. Soccer ball is too. Or football, if you're anywhere else. The U.S.? Actually, I don't, does Canada say football or soccer? I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm not really being a sports ball person either. Even we've talked about this before. I'm just not into sports ball. Never happened. Not even as a kid. Not even as a kid. My old man liked to watch college football. Oops, hold on. The one thing I'm not keen on the ladder is it kind of blocks that. I understand why, because that's how it happened in real life, but it is a bit annoying. Okay. There we go. Yeah. We should have maybe just a few bits and bobs after this. There we go. How are we looking? We need the porch. Yeah, okay. We absolutely need the porch. And I think that's it. No, the bricks. Wait, the bricks? Which bricks do we not get? I'm looking. I'm just pressing tab to see if I can see which one we didn't get. Here. Yep, I see it now. Is that all the bricks? Bricks, 7 of 7. Sweet. All right, let's do the porch. Get this. Oh, yeah. Nice. This is a nice job. I like that they have some jobs that are larger jobs and others that are smaller. I mean, I think there was a smaller one we could have taken. It was like a garage. This one was a bigger one. Paid more money too. But I really felt like delving into this because it is deeply satisfying. It's a satisfying game. Yep. This one over here. Wonder how they did the sound. I think they recorded power washing. They manipulate it digitally. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. I mean, some digital manipulation, obviously, because they have to make it seem like you're... Like when the water's going through versus hitting it, when it's hitting it when you're closer and it's hitting it harder, farther away and it's hitting it a little less hard. To do porch fences and porch. We're in the home stretch. We got 93% left. I know home stretch is a sports ball reference, but I don't know which sports ball. You know? I don't know which one. How am I going to get that? I don't... I can't... Yeah, that's an awkward angle. Porch fence this time too, okay. How is this not... Is it not done yet? Okay, how much of the porch fence do we have? Porch fence. 61% clean? Okay, well, let's see what happens when we get this one. Sometimes there's little fiddly things that are a little bit frustrating. Some things like that, like trying to get the exact angle and you can't really move in. Like, how do I get that last one? I don't know. Okay, there's stuff on the bottom here too, so we can maybe do some of that. Yeah, there's that there. Oh, I don't think I got this on the other porch. I don't think I did this. I don't think I did. No, I did not. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, this one is just filthy. Okay. I wonder what all this is. Like, was there a fire? It looks like soot, you know? It's soot. There. Yeah, this one is definitely, we didn't, so this one's done stuff. And I'm reasonably sure that I did not. Yeah, there's definitely some stuff at the bottom here that we need to get. Great. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to do the actual porch, and then we'll do the steps. I'm so close. I'm assuming the porch roof is the underside of it, because, well, probably all of it actually, now that I think about it, because I did the top part of it, I think, when I did the rest of the roof, so should be fine. Yeah. Forgot sometimes there's a more powerful one than the green one. You know? No, I can't remember though. Yeah. I'm assuming, I guess this is part of the porch and not the bricks, since it says we got all the bricks. Right? Okay. Rest of the porch here. Yeah, anytime I can use the wider nozzle, I'll try to. Probably an hour and a half video, maybe. A little long for a typical weekday video, but I try to make the videos, try to make the form fit the game, you know? Try to make it so that it makes sense. And this is a game where it's just going to take a little bit longer. How much of the porch does it say we've done? 73%. Well, let's get down here and keep on going. Need to sometimes get that intermediate squat, you know? That other one seems like you're literally lying down. Yeah, good to know when you need that strong, really strong sort of move there. Okay, let's get the stairs. Porch and porch roof. We got something else, I guess. Or maybe that was the... Are we ever going to see any people? Doesn't seem like we are. Doesn't seem like we are. It's funny. That's where it goes sometimes. I got this other side, right? Yes. Oh, maybe this is part of the porch too. Maybe this whole thing is part of the porch, which is why I didn't get it yet. Oh, maybe the whole, I don't know. Does the stairs count as part of the porch? They do. Thank you for answering my question. Porch roof. Oh, so nice. Do you have to 100% this? I'm actually not sure. I should check into that. I probably shouldn't, because if I find a way I can weasel out of it, you know I will. Hold on. Okay. There we go. There we go. Can we go lighter? We sure can. Be a little more efficient. A little bit more efficient. We did it! Nice. Escape. Open the job tablet to continue. I love this. I love that they show how we clean the house. I think that's marvelous. That was fun. Yeah, about an hour and a half. Awesome. The bungalow looks amazing, Doc. Thank you. You won't believe the impact it's had. Ma's down the woods picking flowers, and Pops is muttering excitedly about another job he's got for you. So if you hear from Leonard Miller, that'll be him. Thank you, Kelvin, so much. Holy crap. Oh, you can do co-op. I knew that somehow. But I think that is a pretty good place to end this video. Thank you so much for watching this playthrough of PowerWash Simulator. Super fun. This is great. These are going to be a little bit longer form videos just because, you know, that's sort of the nature of this game. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time for more PowerWash Simulator. See you in the next video.